I shared a video that I published a few years ago about interview I had with someone. The person shared his experience with Peugeot 407 with EW12 engine and 6-speed manual gearbox. So, um, and he said some point that I'm the best when it comes to Peugeot repairs and diagnosis. And though he later, emphasized that that was his own personal experience, not that he's saying it, generally that I'm the best. So this video is just to make people understand that no, I'm not the best. I appreciate what he said, but still, I'm not the best. I just didn't want to interject, especially whenever I'm doing interviewing someone. I just let them flow. So there was no point for me most time trying to argue or debate on what someone says. Let the person say what he wants to say, or he or she wants to say. So no, I'm not the best. See, when it comes to Peugeot repairs, diagnosis, even if you limit it to Nigeria, no, I'm not. Even if you limit it to Abuja, I'm not. I've met um, a few technicians, Peugeot technicians that are actually quite good. I could say, oh, in this aspect, no, they understand it better than I do. On this aspect, they are very good. I even learn from them on that particular. When it comes to vehicle, there are so many facets where uh, they have specialties in terms of, oh, if you want someone to do this kind of job or repairs on this, there's someone that could be able to do it better than the other person for this particular part of the vehicle. So even though most these days outside, like in the west, one person tends to do everything, but here, no, we still have experts on various things, but experts on generally on a Peugeot, but then there are areas that they are very good at than other people on that same brand. Some might be good with the injection system better in diagnosing and fixing. Some might be good in mechanical side of the vehicle. Even not just all the mechanical, some might be better in rebuilding engines than others, even though the other ones who could not rebuild engines are also good. But then when it comes to rebuild, they might not be a better option. So that's what I mean by, you have area of specialties on a particular brand. So I met quite some people and I work with some of them. And I also had or seen some work done on vehicles that would be like, even though I didn't meet the person or I've not met the people that did those jobs on that car, but I was like, okay, this kind of whoever that did this job is kind of person I would like to meet or work with at some point. So yeah, I would say in that regards, no, I'm not the best. The only thing I would say here is I'm the one out there, putting out the message. Yeah, when you can check not just online. Basically online, I'm the only one. I can't think of any other person. There could be one or two. Okay, let's just say I might not be the only one, but I'm like the only popular person known from Nigeria, if not Africa, you know, promoting this brand. So I'm the one out there, spreading that message, irrespective of how knowledgeable I am with their exposure systems. But I'm the one. And when you pay attention to my message, all those messages that I'm delivering, you could see the area of focus. I'm not trying to tell you I'm the best on those videos. You see sometimes when I'm doing diagnosis, you see how I do that by trying to show you, okay, at the moment, I do not know what could be the cause. but it could be this. All right, I'll go into this, look at it, check. It might not be. I'll move to another place, doing it without messing up the system until eventually I'll get to the solution. But someone else who probably a technician who is watching it, the video might be, come on, the symptom of this issue is basically supposed to be caused by this. How come I didn't know that? And I had to beat about the bush a little, or not necessarily beat about the bush. I had to, do all these diagnosis, elimination method to get to that. When I could have gone straight to that issue. So this is someone that probably who understands it better than I do. But when you pay attention again to that, what I'm trying to do is you can do it yourself. This is how I do it. You can do it probably the way I do it, figure out a better way of doing that, or the easiest way of doing that, or the cheapest way of doing that, or the safest way of doing that. So you see that my message is not about, oh, let me teach you how you can be an expert on Peugeot, or that, oh, bring your vehicle, I'm the only one that knows how to fix it. No. That's what I do. I try to tell you, okay, this is the life I'm living, working on my cars or working on other people's cars. And sometimes I engage other people to work with me on some other people's cars. Sometimes I also engage people to work with me on my own cars. So I show it as trying to tell you that I'm not claiming to be the best. And when you see the core message, aside from trying to show you how you can do it yourself, you see that my core message is always about you can actually own a Peugeot wherever you are. There's nothing wrong with owning a Peugeot car, whether it's the older model or the newer models. When people, it's okay. Before I even get to that, even the message I'm spreading, it's not necessarily about how you can do it yourself. No, because no matter what you do, not everybody, even if they have the capacity or the capability to know, to do it themselves, but then they don't want to. Yeah, but at least you have idea, okay, even if you are giving it to somebody, should not go beyond this weight, or shouldn't start beating, or you don't, from what you've learned from what I'm showing you, know that, okay, this kind of symptoms, do not go and start messing with this other kind of part of the vehicle, or start doing cut and join, where you could have followed something similar like this in terms of trying to identify the problem or how you can fix it. You could see some of my videos, you see sometimes I might do some repairs, and eventually I'll come back to it later on. Like the suspensions, you could see some, even my own personal car, like the 407 Coupe. You could see how many times I've done videos, or, doing repairs over and over on the suspension of the 407 V6 Coupe. Which I've always said that when it comes to 407, you have to be ready to spend if you are going for 407 because of their suspension. Complex and a weak part of that vehicle, especially the V6. So, now the other things I do, you could, if you are been following me since all these things started online, you could see, I think that it should be as early as 2010, online. You could see the type of message that I spread. These other guys who have that knowledge probably better than I do on Peugeot cars in terms of repairs, diagnosis. Not everybody wants to put himself, out there and be vulnerable to do the kind of things I do in order to be able to make money for you. Because some of these things I do online, I have no direct benefit to them. It's all these guys who are in the background, have this knowledge, making their doing their repairs, and most of them are actually the one, because people who actually listen or pay attention to some of the things I do, or the things I say concerning Peugeot make sense to them. When they buy this Peugeot car, they don't necessarily bring them to me for me to repair or do all those things. It's those guys they will go to, not me. And you could see both some of my conditions, even when you see that I actually push people away. Don't need to bring them to me, because that's my message is not for you to buy Peugeot and bring to me. No. My message is not even for you to buy. If you want to buy Peugeot, you must come to me. No. It's about these things you are doing, all this raw abuse you are doing your Peugeot car is why you are having issues with yours. It's why people are condemning Peugeots and you are believing them. It's not because Peugeot cars are actually meant to have those issues. Doesn't mean they will not have it. Eventually, cars will break down. But some of these issues most Nigerians are complaining of are purely unnecessary. These issues are not meant to actually happen, but people actually introduce them intentionally, whether on, I would say intentionally. It's just that as they are doing it, they wouldn't know that the consequences might be this bad when it starts. But you are doing it intentionally by trying to go out of factory or recommended way of doing repairs on a vehicle. So you are doing it intentionally. It might not be that the owner approved it, the owner of the vehicle, but then the mechanic or technician who is doing that is intentionally doing it. Even while they are doing it, they know that this is not the right way of going about it, that it might have impact on the car, but to them, it means nothing as long as maybe in trying to solve one problem. If they do that abusive repair, it might solve that problem, but then knowing fully well that it's also going to introduce another problem while trying to solve this problem, so they won't care. So those are my message. And the thing is, the way I do it, I'm very direct. I'm very aggressive in the message I put out, or the way I go about it. And that's where people always what did I say? See, consider that, hey, it puts them off. Well, I don't. If you, like I said, all you need to look at history. There are men like us who have actually existed. Just that some people don't apply logic, or not necessarily logic. Use their critical mind. If you are a Christian, I mean, Jesus is your God, which I know. That's your belief. And look at his message. Look at how he started. Very raw, very aggressive, because he knew the society he was bringing these messages to are going to be very defensive. There were other prophets in the past, in the Old Testament, who were kind of soft. There were also prophets in that Old Testament that were very raw and aggressive. What's one of them? Is it Jeremiah? There are some that are just there, being politically correct, saying nice things. But when Jesus came, he didn't. He was not nice. He was not kind. He was just aggressive. He didn't care about how you felt. He would tell you, if you do this, you are going to hellfire to die, and or stay there and be gnashing your teeth and wish you were never born. He was direct. These are not kind words. What eventually happened as he was doing those things? Of course, some people were put off, and that's why they hated him, which eventually led to his crucifixion. If he was nice, nobody would thought about crucifying him. But as he was doing that, some critical-minded ones were actually absorbing that message and turned, and look at what eventually led. Almost most humans in the world worship him. He's a god, as far as Christian is concerned. Likewise, other people, look at Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci, so I'm trying to remember his full name. Where he's also putting his own message two pictures, drawings. He was also very aggressive. Was raw. He was speaking the truth. Two pictures or paintings, which will upset a lot of people. Likewise, Socrates. I'm telling all these men are mentioning. I want you to go back. Even the recent one, sometimes when you say all these things, the non-philosophical minded ones will not understand. Let's bring it to even your modern reality. People like Tupac. Yeah, you say, oh, he was very thuggish, he was this and that. But look at, take some time to listen to his lyrics. I'm not saying all of them. Look at his passion, the energy he used in speaking. Now the whole world speaks about him till today. Even though he's gone, how many years ago? It should be more than 20 years by now. I can't remember. So this is the energy I'm using to push out, because see, you have no idea the bullets I'm taking. This is like a war in the war front. While other people who are, I'm like the shield. So absorbing all the bullets while they are behind as I'm pushing forward. Because I am pushing forward. Most of you who are watching this video, or probably, watching this video, actually owns a Peugeot car because of me today, or actually enjoying your Peugeot cars because of me today. It might not be equal, or maybe you don't even own a Peugeot car anymore, but at some point, because of my activities online, things you read me say, or read I posted, but what made you probably to buy your Peugeot car at that time and enjoyed it, or at least maybe you had it at that time but you were not enjoying it, but you were able to start enjoying it because of some of the things I was saying, how you are supposed to use your car, what you are doing that was wrong on your vehicle. That's why you are not enjoying it. So I was the one. There was nothing humans have not said to me, as in all kind of curses, insult, everything. But I was still pushing forward, absorbing that. So that's who I am. I don't what's it called? Sweeten words. I'm very direct. I'll just tell it to you. It's not up to you to know how you want to absorb it. Because when I'm speaking generally, I'm putting those messages about generally. If you are doing this to your car, you deserve it because of the consequences you are experiencing. Yes, you deserve it. You shouldn't have done it that way. So be man enough to own that responsibility, be accountable to your decisions, and stop looking for who to put blames to. Because that's what usually happens sometimes. You tell people, these modern cars or modern Peugeot cars are electrically controlled. They are no longer 504. So before you go and buy, make sure you have somebody. And remember, I always say, it must not be me. Like I say, even beginning of this video, I acknowledge that there are some good Peugeot technicians, even here in Abuja and some other parts of Nigeria, and then all over the world. That I'm not even like I can say, that I even probably know half of what they do. No. Yes, they are better than me, like in repairs, or having the ability to identify some of these things. It's about knowledge. As you do, you gain, you acquire. You also, from experience, you gain this, you add those knowledges. So yeah, there are people like that. But still, I acknowledge these people exist. And so if you want to buy a modern Peugeot car, try and go through this. Use these services, use them. You could use me. I'm also one of those people. But I'm telling you, this is the right thing to do. Do not use what's it called, your local mechanic to go and inspect a vehicle for you, especially a modern car. If it's an older car, 504, 505. Honestly, if you are going for a 504, 505, 404, you don't need a mechanic. Don't go with a mechanic. What you need is a panel beater. Forget about the engine. Whether engine is dead, gearbox is dead, is immaterial as far as 404, 504 is concerned. I'm telling you, as someone who's not just an expert in Peugeot, also have used some of these vehicles and is still currently using them. See, do not go with a mechanic. What you are after is the body. It's the body that will determine how long that car will stay with you, not the engine. You can easily always rebuild that engine. It's not like this modern one that if something happens, it's like that's almost like the end of the car. If engine fails or gearbox fails, you have to no. You don't need to change any of these engines, no matter how weak they are. All you need is just replace the parts. They are available, and the engine keeps running. So that's why don't focus on these things. Find some, go with the person that looked at the body, because once the body is there, it's pointless. These cars can rust like, I don't know how to say. So once that rust has started, do not waste time buying them. Go for one there. And also, even if there's no rust, maybe there's some accidents or impacts on the body that will knock the car out of shape. It will be very difficult to bring it back to that original shape. So it's pointless. So even if you want to buy the one, the body is still, the structure, that skeleton is still there. Even if there are some scratches here and there or some impacts here and there, but it didn't affect that skeleton. I always use the word skeleton. It's still there. Those straight lines, everything is still there. That's the area. Then when it comes to modern cars, find technicians that can be able to check the electricals. Even body, everything, but you see people focusing so much on the mechanical modern cars. You see that people who are complaining most times on modern car are not necessarily because of their mechanicals, not because the engine failed, not because the gearbox failed. It's mostly electric. They might be complaining that the engine is giving them issues, maybe because of lack of understanding. But those issues are not actually caused by the engine. It's because the electricals are not allowing the engine to work well, so it keeps giving them issues. Same thing with the automatic transmission. The electricals will not allow them to work well because of issues, abuse, cut and join here, done here and there. So that's why I get so raw. Or I do it aggressively, telling you this will happen. You expect this, even if it doesn't happen at that moment. Expect this will happen. This is science. It's not like, fact is fact. It's not about any emotion or this or that. It's very objective. Do this, you're going to get this kind of reaction. So it puts some people off. Like I said, even Jesus, same thing happened. The world, most of the people hated him for that, for telling them about their sins. This thing you are doing is bad. You do this, you go to hellfire, repent, this and that. Like I said, look at most of the messages, woe betide you. There's nothing nice about those words. Sometimes it looks as if they were cursing people who were sinners. But in other words, he was also asking them, repent on time so that you will not suffer the consequences he was trying to tell you. Same thing, exactly what I'm doing. It's just that the other side of it was more what we now regard as religion. But this side is about automobile. So what I'm telling you doesn't necessarily limit it only to Peugeot. It's almost every brand of vehicle, especially the modern ones. The older ones, even if you want to abuse them, you can always get away with it. But not these modern ones. So bringing it back to what I'm saying, that's who I am. That's how I do that. Some people find it, like I said, some of these guys who have that good in Peugeot, they don't want to, even if they have the same mindset I have, but considering that they don't want to absorb those kind of bullets, those kind of, be in the front, knowing that it might affect, because probably this is their only source of income. So putting off a lot of people by being that raw or aggressive in your preaching, your message you spread out, might not favor them. So they will rather stay behind, be in the midst of the crowd, doing what they do. So someone has to do that, and that person is me. Hopefully somebody else might join tomorrow. So that's where the point is, I'm coming back again. I'm not the best. They are there. I'm just the one out there. I'll tell you again, go over online when it comes to Peugeot. No other person. Or let's say the person started yesterday that I don't know. No other person Not just in Nigeria, I'm talking of Africa. You'll be surprised, the whole world. I'm not just saying, you'll be surprised when it comes to Peugeot, unless at least the English speaking nations. I'm mostly like the only person dedicated online, spreading, promoting, the Peugeot brand. Doesn't mean it's the best vehicle. It's not. Peugeot is not the best. I mean, their production cars, I mean, the maximum, when it comes to like petrol, what's the fastest they've done so far? Or the most powerful engine they've done when it comes to production petrol cars? 270 horsepower. They've not even done a V8 engine. I'm not saying they what I mean production cars and cars they sell to the masses, to the public. You can use on the public road. No. Maybe for their sports, their rallies, yeah. They probably have done V8 and or done cars that have up to 700 horsepower. I'm talking about what you find in other brand of cars or production cars on the roads. Peugeot is not close to them. Even in what people regard as so-called reliability. I mean, you can't really say, oh, Peugeot, because their systems are not that simple. And people define or categorize reliability with cars that they have simpler systems. So they don't need to be, in other words, they can actually afford to abuse their cars and without having any kind of issue that people like Peugeot users will have if they do the same thing on their cars. So that's so-called reliability. So in that case, you can't say Peugeot can be classified among these cars. So again, it's not like Peugeot is not like the best. But then in the world, when you come to the world, you look at the catalog, you see so many things, you pick and choose. Out of the whole thing, which one resonates well or better with you? So I don't really need to, like I said, I mean, you can deny. You can, even this video, you will see some people that will see come under it and make some negative comments and the rest. Some of these people, actually, even some who are now enjoying their cars and everything, they made some of these comments before. They insulted me, called me names, did so many things. That will never own a Peugeot car. I mean, these are useless cars. I mean, you have no idea what it's like to put yourself out there to defend the undefensible. This is a brand nobody, I'm not talking of you only Nigeria, nobody will even allow you to ever speak of. That's why these days I don't join groups anymore. Especially these WhatsApp groups. I just don't. Except the ones I know I created or I'm an admin. Because it can be very, very raw. As in, you get so attacked simply because you talked about Peugeot and you want to promote it. Yeah, you could say you own a Peugeot and they will still make some slight comments, to insult you that you don't drive a good car, you don't drive a good brand, or you don't, you are not identified. The car you identify with doesn't make you so-called a real man, or makes you a poor man for be driving this car. Whatever you know box they want to put you in for driving a Peugeot. But what they will not allow you is to come and start to promote that Peugeot brand. So because of that, I don't bother, because pointless. Being a place where you can't even be the message can we will allow you to get that message out. The way it was the group is structured. So what's the point? So it's better I go out there, keep doing it the way I do. Most of you probably knew me when I was in Ireland or when I was active on Ireland. You saw my messages, So of course, quite a number of people watching it now probably were among the ones that have insulted everything about, as in even I mean, so many of them, there's nothing they have not said a human being can't even think of. But like I said, even some of these other technicians, so yeah, they will probably will feel the same way of why are you saying this thing about Peugeot, which is not true. Because that's one thing about me. What you are saying is false, as in wrong, and it's not even correct. It's not even true. You are just lying. Most times, people just lie just to bring down a particular brand, so feel good about their own brand. So they will say all kinds of lies, or what they can't even defend. As in, what I mean defend is, or they only had it from what other people are saying, not that they experience it. Or even if we are a third party to that experience, it's probably they didn't even know the history or the background to those vehicles. Did they open the bonnet to know what kind of mess the owner was did on that vehicle? But because they were in the car, maybe the car shut down and they started overheating, or electrical fault came up. So they just assumed that the person must have been fixing or maintaining his car right, and that's why yeah, this issue happened. So they just, so I don't entertain that. So I'll tell you right away, and I'll prove it to you that you are wrong, and you are, So if you don't, you have no proof, you have no direct experience, then shut the fuck up, because you don't know what you're saying. You're only telling lies and trying to push people away from that. So people like me, yeah, we're always there. Like I said, you don't need to. You don't even need. All I need is, depending on your background in terms of spirituality, just go back, think back. We have always existed. Most times you realize that it's after people like us are gone that the other people will be like, oh, he was actually right, he was actually correct. You go back. I keep using Jesus. The same thing. At that time, majority hated him for that. Now he's a god, everybody's worshiping him. Likewise, others, the prophets and everybody, people who actually crucified them, the apostles and everything, eventually ended up, most times, sometimes, may not be all, converted back to Christianity. Look at St. Paul, same thing. He was even among the ones crucifying, killing Christians, the disciples and the rest, or even the apostles, who knows. Eventually, he got converted and started saying the same message he was. He didn't even want anybody around him or to even speak. After those who spoke those words have gone. So, Peugeot, I will say it again. I don't even like all their cars. I don't even like all their systems. But the good ones, yeah, I'll speak positive about them. I'll, promote the ones. It's not as if, like those who actually probably who also have been paying attention. You know, sometimes I'll make a comment or remark that it's not only Peugeot that is on my to-do list. I have a brand that has nothing to do with Stellantis that is on my to-do list that I want to have. So no, I'm not the best, because this is what the main purpose of this video. I'm not the best. This is just what I do. You could say, okay, maybe I'm the best in spreading the message, promoting Peugeot, irrespective of their um, uh, trying to find the right word to say, irrespective of issues attached to some of their cars. Yeah, because every other car have their own issues. Just that people are good at lying. Oh, my car has been doing well for years, no issues. He will not tell you the change engine 2 years ago, because to him, he consider that, come on, you're supposed to be changing the engine every once in a while. He won't tell you that he spends 4 liters of oil every week to run his vehicle, because the engine is smoking like hell. But to him, everything is okay in that car. He won't tell you that the transmission shifts like crazy. You always marvel, you shift to all of a sudden you jump from gear 4 to gear 2, from gear 2 to gear 6. You keep shifting radically. But to him, the car is moving very well. He won't tell you, oh, how bad. Almost once you enter the car, every side part of the car is vibrating, making noise like tractor. suspension, dead, everything. But my car has been running so, so that's what I'm saying. People are just either out of ignorance or intentionally are just liars. Um, in fact, most what you always understand that when you listen to some of the things I say, I'm not interested in the, in the sheep. No, my messages are for people to become shepherds. Think out of the box, think out of the crowd. You don't have to be a Peugeot mechanic. You don't have to change and become this thing. But you can actually, so that's what I focus on, out of the majority. Even if it's only those few that can listen and gain from this, that's what it means being in the front. You might not win the war, but the most important thing is at the end, some people actually get it. And those are the people that will continue. It's always like I say, what's your purpose in life? If you're a man, you just have to find one. You have to define it because that one keeps you going as long as it takes. Because eventually it could be any day, it could be this moment. Even me speaking that, I don't know about tomorrow. I don't even know about the next 1 hour. But then, again, what's your life purpose? You have to, only you can define that. So, I think this should be being to the end of the video. So, hopefully, I have more things in future to bring concerning Peugeot cars. Even this interview, I think I probably may start to do it again. Let people share. I think what these days I don't really want much about people telling, experience with, what car, their experiences with me in terms of repair. No, I just wanted to share most time when I do interviews, it's mostly about share your experience with Peugeot. It doesn't have to be about me or me coming into the picture. I just want to, so that other people might learn from that. Even if it's a bad experience, share it. I won't even interject and say, oh, no, you are wrong. Because I know sometimes some people say something, I say, oh, I remember one interview I did with someone, or you say, my timing belt kept cutting, or the auxiliary belt kept cutting. That's one thing I don't like about Peugeot. Or what I don't know, one thing I don't like about Peugeot cars is their timing belt. This timing belt cutting off a thing, that is very bad. It's a bad this thing. I left him. I didn't even want to try to correct him that no, it's because people are not doing what they're supposed to do. That's why it's cutting. Because if you are following the Peugeot instruction, you shouldn't cut. But I didn't. This is what he wanted to say. Other people might hear it and maybe it will kind of support their perspective on Peugeot cars. That okay, see, I've been saying that now. Someone has confirmed it. But somebody might have another interview with another person. The person might be able to say so the way, say it. No. It happened to me once, and I learned that you're supposed to change the belt every now and then so that it doesn't, the engine does not have that issue of timing belt failure. So hopefully I might start that again. We'll see. All right, so that is it for now.